Join us this week on Tourism One-on-One as we speak to the winner of the first installment of the Tourism Enhancement Fund's groundbreaking Tourism Innovation Incubator Program, Dr. Dwayne Chambers.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Welcome to High School Pitchside. Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out, so send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
Trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
We've got you covered
all season long
on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
Tonight in CVM News at 7 p.m. addresses newly appointed ministers of state. Payday politics, salaries highlighted as new cabinet sworn in, and MP denies claims of criminal infiltration in St. Thomas Highway Works. In the business report, Caribbean Flavors Fragrances make sensational start to 2025, while in sports, Jackson and Lavelle win 200-meter bronze medals at Tokyo World Championships. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7. It's Friday, September 19, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Curlin Brown. Heavy rain and thunderstorms continue to pound sections of the corporate area, causing localized flooding and difficult driving conditions. The Meteorological Service says showers are expected to persist into the weekend, with some areas experiencing longer periods of rainfall and occasional thunderstorms. Now, motorists and pedestrians are being urged to exercise extreme caution, avoid flooded roads, reduce speed, and use headlights where visibility is poor. Residents in low-lying and flood-prone communities are also advised to remain alert and to monitor official weather updates as conditions may worsen over the next 48 hours. At King's House earlier today, several members of Parliament officially took the oath of office as Ministers of State. They expressed gratitude for the confidence placed in them and pledged to serve with diligence. Akeem Orit has their reactions.
As the new cabinet takes office, the focus isn't only on who holds which portfolio, but also how much taxpayers are now paying to fund Jamaica's political leadership. In May 2023, government approved a significant salary hike as part of a public sector compensation restructuring. The final phase took effect on April 1, 2024. For the 2024-2025 fiscal year, the leader of the opposition and Deputy Prime Minister each take home 25 $1.7 million annually. The Minister of Finance.
In a brief ceremony at King's House, the newly appointed ministers of state were sworn in before the Governor General, each expressing profound appreciation for the opportunity to serve Jamaica at a higher level of governance. Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford, shares that she is beyond elated to serve as State Minister for Education, Skills, Youth and Information.
So very honored, very excited, very humbled. Education is my stomping ground.
At King's House today, that should have been several members of Parliament officially took the oath of office. As Ministers of State, they expressed their gratitude for the confidence placed in them and pledged to serve with diligence. We can now go to that report.
In a brief ceremony at King's House, the newly appointed ministers of state were sworn in before the Governor General, each expressing profound appreciation for the opportunity to serve Jamaica at a higher level of governance. Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford, shares that she is beyond elated to serve as State Minister for Education, Skills, Youth and Information.
So very honored, very excited, very humbled. Education is my stomping ground. I'm a trained teacher of English language and English literature. I attended Shorter Teachers College. I also did a first degree in language education at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. Also did my master's in educational administration and my doctoral studies. It has been done in literacy, so another area of education.
First-time MP for Central Clarendon, Delroy Williams, who has been appointed State Minister for Local Government and Community Development, says he is looking forward to serving his country.
Humbled and honored. It's a privilege for me to serve. For the most honorable Prime Minister to have expressed that level of confidence in me to join the executive as a Minister of State is humbling. It's humbling. And I look forward to serving.
Newly minted State Minister for Tourism and MP for North Trelawney, Tova Hamilton, says
that I think the Prime Minister has a sense of humor because during the recent campaigns, my opponent heavily emphasized this ministry, almost as a fait accompli, that he would have been the Minister of Tourism. So I find it a poetic twist of fate that I am here now as Minister of State.
While acknowledging the added responsibilities, the ministers made it clear that this will not take away from their duties as MP.
In any given week, we have to allocate time for our constituencies, office hours, working with our team, as you can see right here, and ensuring that the work continues within the constituency of Central and Northwest. So with my strength, with my team that I have, I'm sure that we'll be able to do a good job. And as a newly appointed minister, I'll have the latitude to learn and to grow and to put the very best foot forward in terms of making a good contribution in that Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Well, I don't see one as sabotaging or undermining the other, because this ministry, the people's interest and interacting with the people and seeing how the people, the culture, the way in which people live, the sports program, the entertainment, and of course gender relationship, it's about people. So my constituency will be a sounding board in order to be an effective state minister.
The ceremony marks the beginning of their new assignments as they prepare to serve their respective ministries in carrying out government policy. Akeem Art, CVM News.
And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness explains the recent appointment of new Ministers of State and the Parliamentary Secretary form part of his plan to prepare the next generation of leaders to take over the reins of government. Carla Ramdeen has the details.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness addressed the new members of State and Parliamentary Secretary today. Dr. Holness says he's preparing the next generation to take over. This comes in context that a number of current members of Parliament have indicated their intentions to retire from representational politics during or at the end of the term.
And very shortly, all will indicate their intention. They have committed themselves to using the years ahead, not to accumulate titles, but to transfer their hard-won experience, their institutional knowledge, and their discipline to the younger leaders who will come after them. This is the essence of succession, to secure the gains of today by preparing the leadership of tomorrow. It is not about replacing one generation with another overnight, but it is about forging a living bridge between the wisdom of experience and the dynamism of youth.
Dr. Holness says he's been deliberate about succession and transition planning.
And this is where you, as newly appointed Ministers of State and Parliamentary Secretary, enter the story. You represent the reservoir of talent that exists in our parliamentary ranks, in our party, and across the Jamaican society. Your appointment is both a recognition of your potential and an investment in Jamaica's future.
The Prime Minister urged the new members of State and Parliamentary Secretary to uphold the highest ethical standards, adding that they should stay close with their constituency and be aware and attentive to the concerns of the people.
Every decision you make, every document you sign, every program you launch must be guided by the highest standard of integrity. Do not be seduced by the trappings of office. By now, those things, the novelty of those things should have worn off. And the focus should really be on the achievements, what we can achieve for the people.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
With the new cabinet now sworn in, public attention is swiftly turning to the big payday for Jamaica's politicians. Salaries for government officials saw dramatic increases last year, sparking outrage and national debate. As the state ministers were sworn in, questions are being asked about whether there will be additional hike. Raymond Morrison has that report.
As the new cabinet takes office, the focus isn't only on who holds which portfolio, but also how much taxpayers are now paying to fund Jamaica's political leadership. In May 2023, government approved a significant salary hike as part of a public sector compensation restructuring. The final phase took effect on April 1, 2024. For the 2024-2025 fiscal year, the leader of the opposition and deputy prime minister each take home $25.7 million annually. The Minister of Finance earns $24.5 million, and the cabinet ministers and the Speaker of the House each collect $22.8 million. Members of Parliament now make $14.2 million a year, while mayors and parish councillors also received hefty salary boosts. These massive increases sparked nationwide controversy as many Jamaicans continue to struggle with the rising cost of living. The new structure also removed allowances for housing and telephones, combining everything into one base salary. However, a notable exception, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, who declined his increase, keeping his salary at $9.16 million. Now, as he begins the new term, the question remains, will that change? And it's not just politicians seeing bigger pay packets. Advisors, consultants, and special assistants have also seen their salaries soar. Top-tier senior advisors now earn between $9.1 million and $10.3 million per year, while mid-level advisors make between $6.3 million and $8.1 million. Even personal assistants, the ministers are now taking home between $2 million and $2.4 million annually. As the new administration settles into office, public pressure continues to mount for transparency and responsible spending, with many watching closely to see how leaders respond. With what many see as millions of taxpayer dollars at stake, all eyes are now on the new cabinet. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
Stay where you are. CVM News at 7 will continue right after this.
Crunch your craving with the value menu from KFC. With combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
It was rough. Every time the rain fall, the whole place wet up. I have to put the kids' book in a bag until the place dry out. Ah boy, I couldn't afford a new roof. Then one day, Ross tell me about a grant I can get through the government. So I sent a letter to the ministry telling them wagwan. The officers came, them do them inspection where I was able to go to the hardware store, get the supply so my roof could have been fixed. I don't think I ever see my kids them smile so much yet. That means everything to me. The Ministry of Economic, Growth and Job Creation make my life better.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Parliament has only just reopened and tension between the government and opposition is already running high. Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Rosemary Shaw, is pushing back against the suggestion made by the Prime Minister during the opening of Parliament. Criminals have tried to interfere with the Southern Coastal Highway works. Amoy Harriet has the latest.
The Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, SHIP, has been in the works since 2017. Back in May of this year, Minister without portfolio with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, revealed that the multi-billion-dollar infrastructure project was already about 90% complete. Then, this from Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness during the opening of Parliament on Thursday.
The South Coast Road Improvement Project has unfortunately been marred by interference, intimidation, and attempts by individuals to unlawfully insert themselves into the works. The government has made it clear, and I repeat it here in this House, that no one has the authority to hijack national projects, intimidate contractors, or substitute political muscle for lawful governance.
In the middle of Dr. Holness's remarks, this interjection, seemingly from opposition leader Mark Golding, yelled from across the chamber.
That way, thank God. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for the assurance.
Now, the pushback didn't come only from Mr. Golding. Hours later, outside Gordon House, Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Rosemary Shaw, voiced her displeasure with the Prime Minister's claims.
He took to Parliament second-hand information today. And what he's saying, I can challenge the Prime Minister that he was not speaking the truth today. He misled the Parliament for one. And two, he has sought to be divisive.
She insisted that no such activity is taking place.
I have a letter from SHIP to state that what was claimed that the site was overrun by criminals is totally false. And I'm wondering if the Prime Minister is still in election mode, if he's still upset about Eastern St. Thomas constituency that has now gone to the People's National Party. He said in his speech before that he is calling for national unity. Now when you despise a member and lie on a member, is that calling for national unity?
Amoy Harriet for CVM News.
At least 4 candidates have been shortlisted to become the next Director of Public Prosecutions, as the office is now vacant following the retirement of Paula Llewellyn. In an interview on CVM's Lead Story on her final day in office today, Ms. Llewellyn urged the country to support whomever becomes her successor.
I wish all the very best for my successor. I wish for them, I hope the public, and I thank the public of Jamaica for all the prayers and all the support that I've always had throughout my career, especially as DPP. And I ask the public of Jamaica to give my successor a similar support. It is a difficult job. It is 2 jobs in one.
Now, Ms. Llewellyn also responded to suggestions she's being eyed to be appointed the next Attorney General.
Was that you may be the next Attorney General being considered for that? Do you deny any truth to that?
Mr.
Do you deny any truth to that?
Mr. Dennis, I don't indulge in speculation. There's no basis for that speculation.
So you're not denying if there's any truth to it?
I am neither affirming or denying because I don't know. You see, you have to be careful. Don't speculate.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm not speculating, I'm asking.
Perhaps I could say to you, maybe I may want to become a nice housewife.
Now you must see the full interview with Paula Llewellyn, which will be aired on Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here on Lead Story Prime. In the West St. Andrew town of Lawrence Tavern, locals have been left disgruntled by an inconsistent water supply. They say that they often go days on end without receiving a single drop of water from their taps. Persons in the Mount Ogle community in particular were very vocal about their prevailing plight as they highlighted the various inconveniences arising from the situation over the years. Here's Kevin Black with that report.
Water is one of the essentials to life. However, for residents of Mount Ogle in Lawrence Tavern, the water is seemingly non-existent for most days of the week. Our news team caught up with some residents from the area and they expressed their plights.
Here we get water like once or twice per week, mostly once per week, and then the water bill it's like very heavy, like $4,000 per month for water bill for something that we don't have on a regular basis. And there are neighboring communities to us that have water every day and their water bill is far less. So that's what I really don't understand.
No one will get water, mainly rainwater, and we have to buy water and all them things there to survive, you know what I mean?
Residents also told the CVM News that despite receiving a minimal amount of running water on a regular basis, the monthly bills incurred are exorbitant.
Sometimes we can get in the water. Sometimes used to come 3 days, sometimes it come till 2 days, sometimes we get one. And even from this morning, water come in the morning. You know, come from last night, yesterday.
Because sometimes we bill come up to all 9,000-10,000.
Now if you don't get the water, you still get bill same way. You understand? Come and get pay for a year.
They also illustrated the situation has resulted in sanitary routines such as bathing and washing of clothes becoming increasingly difficult.
We have to have drums where we do catchment. So when water comes on a Thursday evening or on a Friday morning, we have to be at it to catch up water so that you can have water to store you for the following week.
Well, I make it in the hand is true. We have to fill up drum. And when we fill the drum, we have to use some of the drum and wash the clothes. We can't even use the machine again. Because the machine take a lot of water. So we have to use the drum and use the hand.
One community member adds that the community's ongoing challenges also extends to the deplorable conditions of roads.
The people them dig up the road and say them fix the pipe. Them a leak pan the road and you talk to a politician them about it. The worst the water leak pan the road damage the road. See me I say? So we have a water and road problem.
The residents of Mount Ogle in Lawrence Tavern are lobbying to the relevant authorities for some assistance in regards to this matter. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Thanks, Kevin. Global Affairs Canada has issued a travel advisory urging Canadians to exercise extreme caution when visiting Jamaica. The warning issued on September 19 cites the persistent threat of violent crime, including armed robbery and murder in major cities and tourist areas such as Kingston and Montego Bay. Now, according to police data, Jamaica recorded more than 1,300 murders last year, with most violent crimes involving firearms. The advisory comes as authorities continue to implement security measures and states of emergency in some areas to curb crime. In a swift and coordinated operation referred to as Snap Raid, law enforcement agents have uprooted an unlicensed ganja farm in Anoto Bay, St. Mary, cutting off a key source used in the illegal firearms trade. Crystal Williams has been tracking the investigation.
The St. Mary police seized a large quantity of vegetable matter resembling marijuana on Thursday, September 18 in Anoto Bay, following the discovery of an unlicensed ganja farming operation spanning 2 acres. Senior Superintendent of Police Anthony Wallace spoke to the progress of the investigation so far.
So one person was detained and another has since turned himself in connection with this find.
Wallace reports that surveillance intelligence suggests that the operation supports a deeper crime ring.
We have been doing investigations into these illegal farms over a period. So our investigations have shown that these type of unlicensed and unregulated ganja cultivations are deeply connected to the gun drugs trade and other illicit activities that fuel the criminal underworld.
It comes at a time that the guns for drugs trade has come under closer scrutiny following the recent destruction of 2 Venezuelan vessels believed to be involved in the illicit trade by the U.S. military within Caribbean waters. SSP Wallace says that transnational organized crime continues to challenge the efforts of local law enforcement.
These networks not only undermine law enforcement, undermine law and order, but also wreak havoc on the lives of law-abiding citizens.
SSP Wallace was asked about the potential of reprisal as a result of the bust.
St. Mary is normally a family-orientated parish that law and order normally stands, where the citizens work hand in hand with the police, seeing tremendous improvements in the safety and security of the parish. So we're not expecting any form of issues as we move forward.
The St. Mary Police continue to work with the community, the JDF and other agencies as a part of the operation.
Our investigations continue as we think that a number of other persons are involved and a number of other locations based on our investigation so far. But at this time, it's still a sensitive matter, but our investigations are ongoing.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
A security officer was gunned down in a targeted attack at a Millennium Mall near Maypen on Wednesday evening. The victim has been identified as Anthony Cypress Jones, a 55-year-old resident of Canaan Heights, Clarendon. It has been reported Jones was employed by Border Patrol Security Company and was on duty in the vicinity of a prominent supermarket when he was approached by an armed assailant who opened fire, striking him multiple times in the head and upper body. The attacker reportedly fled the scene in a waiting silver motor vehicle, which was last seen heading towards Hayes. According to police reports, Jones was rushed to hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Our newsroom understands Jones had previously survived at least 3 separate shooting incidents in the last few years. And the Trelawney man who was seen in a viral video violently beating a woman with a machete on Sunday is now in police custody. The man, whose identity has not been revealed by the police, turned himself in Friday afternoon. In the 2-minute video, the man, said to be the woman's husband, is seen chasing her before slapping her repeatedly with the flat side of a machete. The attack triggered widespread outrage and renewed domestic violence concerns. CVM News also understands the man is known to the police and has been wanted by the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, CISOCA, for sexual offences. Do stay with us. More to come on the other side of this break.
Join us this week on Tourism One-on-One as we speak to the winner of the first installment of the Tourism Enhancement Fund's groundbreaking Tourism Innovation Incubator Program, Dr. Dwayne Chambers.
Everybody Everybody want to save a country right now.
One thing about Jamaicans, we might have differences, but we know when something is good for all of us. And when we work together against crime and violence, we are stronger than ever. And that's how we know the Citizen Security Plan can work.
That one that name CSP.
The Citizen Security Plan is an initiative of the Ministry of National Security in partnership with the European Union. It's an all-of-government effort to create safer streets and build stronger communities. Go to mns.gov.jm to learn how you can play your part.
50 years of finger-licking good memories, yeah.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
As we welcome you back, it's time for the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to savour with you in the Business Report today about the pungent half-year performance of a business formulated to captivate the senses of the world as Caribbean Flavours and Fragrances CFF, a leading Jamaican manufacturer and supplier of ingredients, delivered double-digit revenue and profit growth in the first half of 2025, signalling some recovery from the challenges associated with the previous year, while also gaining deeper access to the portfolio of a chemical manufacturing giant that was once the largest globally in terms of sales. As we hear from Managing Director Derek Cotterell.
We are the representative for IFF, International Flavor and Fragrances. We are the Caribbean representatives.
And around 4 years ago came a consequential change whose main accords are now being experienced.
IFF bought DuPont, which meant that CFF would have had an opportunity to sell DuPont goods in our markets. The transition was slow, partly because of COVID, and so it was not until 2023 and more so in 2024 that the portfolio was really made available to us. And part of the portfolio is a huge portfolio. Now, among these ingredients in our portfolio, we have some enzymes that will aid the quality of the product and also the shelf life of the product.
Products that are increasingly being found in a variety of Caribbean countries and niche markets across the region, in part due to another first for the company, as itemized by Carlton Samuels, Director and Chairman of CFF's Compensation Committee, as export growth in 2024 climbed 74%.
Expanded our footprint in the Caribbean, establishing new customer relations in Suriname, Guyana, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago. Became the first non-Trinidadian company to join the Trinidad and Tobago Exporters Association. That's a big thing. Provided enhanced regional networking and collaboration opportunities.
CFF recorded revenues of $884.68 million Jamaican dollars, gross profits of $317.22 million, and net profit of just over $82 million Jamaican dollars. Nonetheless, Group CEO Ian Kelly admits the logistical uncertainty that characterized 2024 proved challenging.
We mark ourselves hard when it comes down to us not achieving our targets. And despite the exogenous factors that impacted our operations last year, we still think that what we were able to achieve at the end of the year were quite credible. But the truth is, if your logistics and your shipping lines created a major delay impact on your raw materials, it will negatively affect your ability to deliver. And I think last year it wasn't an issue of that we never had orders from many of our partners.
Notwithstanding, the company were able to pay dividends of close to 45 million Jamaican dollars.
If you look at the company, the tradition, the history of the company, this company has paid a dividend every single year since it's been listed. If you look at the company overall in the market, it is only one of 3 companies that have achieved that in the entire public market. if you look at the percentage of the profit that is passed on to shareholders, CFF can be very proud of what that is. Look at all of them. I have to do the compensation, so you look at those things, you will see that CFF is leading in just about every single category.
A momentum that has extended its foothold across the first half of 2025 for CFF, according to Mr. Kelly.
Our revenue, based on where we were last year, is $529 million. Last year we were at about $447 million. So year to date for the 6 months, for the first 6 months. What that tells you is that our run rate is in a better place and at a better place. In fact, it is the first time that we would have reported just over 300 million in revenue in one quarter, which would have been the last quarter of this financial year. At 6 months, our profit before tax is similar to what we were for the full year last year. So if we were to continue on the run rate that we are going at, we will be having one of the best years in the history of the company. And the fact is, it is a function of the work that the team.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
And now a quick look at social media.
So what's trending today? Member of Parliament for St. Andrew East Rural, Juliet Holness, has returned as the Speaker of the House of Representatives for the new term. Now, the parliamentary opposition had said it would not support her reappointment. However, the Andrew Holness-led administration said the government wouldn't be bullied on the matter. Now, social media users are reacting to this. Leah Thalman says, friendly reminder that when she was first appointed as House Speaker, the PNP wholeheartedly supported it. Click JA85 writes, LOL, sweet me how them can't stop nothing and have 5 more years to ball for control. I said what I said, 30 comments. Jamaica doesn't support this reappointment either. There are other qualified persons who can and should be appointed. Tyrone33 replies, not tell no lie on Jamaica. The unruly _Hazel says, and don't them dead again? And that's what's happening online. Stay tuned on our social media platforms. That's CVM TV on X, CVM_television on Instagram, and CVM Television on Facebook. I'm Amoy Harriet.
To news overseas, the 3 Russian military jets on Friday violated NATO members' Estonia airspace, the latest in a series of recent military actions by Russia that have rattled the alliance. NATO has accused Moscow of reckless behavior, and Estonia has requested urgent NATO talks over the violation of its airspace. More from France 24.
This latest incursion, these incursions are not so unusual. Already there were 4 of these into Estonia's airspace earlier this year. However, it comes in the context of this rapid amount of really serious incursions that lasted a very long time. And of course, following those Russian drones, 19 of them came into Poland's airspace during the entire course of the night. Now, these weren't drones. These were fighter jets, MiG-31s to be precise, which are capable of carrying hypersonic missiles. Now, a couple of F-35 jets from Italy were scrambled to intercept them. The jets were there in Estonia, not in Italy, but that's part of NATO's defenses that exist already on that eastern flank. A NATO spokesperson said tonight that this is yet another example of reckless Russian behavior, but it's also an example of NATO's ability to respond. And as you mentioned, the EU's foreign minister, who herself